In the opening weeks of the year 2026, we must begin our journey by confronting a silent, invisible, yet deadly invasion that possesses no borders, wears no uniforms, and seeks no physical territory. I am speaking of the total and systematic occupation of the human mind by a relentless, crushing tide of entirely useless information. We are currently drowning in a vast, dark sea of data that we never asked for, processed by cold algorithms that do not care for our inner peace, and weaponized by global systems that thrive exclusively on our constant, frantic outrage. But today, in the 46th chapter of the Timeless Wisdom Archives, we are decoding the most necessary, most vital, and most revolutionary skill of the modern era, the art of selective ignorance. To be a truly wise man in the year 2026 is not about how much complex data you can remember or how many trends you can track. It is about how much you have the divine courage to intentionally forget and ignore. We have been fed a massive lie for decades. We were told that all knowledge is power, but they conveniently forgot to tell us that irrelevant, fragmented knowledge is a subtle poison that paralyzes the human soul and shatters the focus of the spirit. Every headline you did not need to read, every manufactured scandal that has absolutely no effect on your higher purpose, and every digital scream that demands your immediate attention is a heavy brick being added to the wall of your own mental prison. Christopher is here to remind you that your biological brain was never designed to carry the eternal weight of the entire world's grievances, tragedies, and trivialities all at once. In the year 2026, your focused attention is the most valuable and sought-after currency on this planet, and if you do not guard that currency with the absolute ferocity of an ancient dragon guarding its gold, the machine will spend it for you until you are spiritually bankrupt. True intelligence is no longer measured by what you know, but by the high-level psychological filters you have built to keep the toxic noise out of your sacred internal space. Analyze the geometry of focus with me with a calm and unblinking eye, and realize the terrifying truth that every single time you look at something trivial, you are making a subconscious choice to be blind to something eternal and meaningful. In the year 2026, the world has become a chaotic carnival of distractions specifically designed to keep you from ever looking inward at the landscape of your own soul. They want you to know everything about everyone else's digital lives, their opinions, and their failures so that you never have a single moment of quiet to investigate the hidden depths of your own potential. Selective ignorance is not about being uneducated or uninformed in the traditional sense, it is about being intentionally, powerfully, and strategically focused on what actually matters to your legacy. It is the profound realization that 99% of what is presented to you as breaking news or important updates in the year 2026 is merely white noise designed to keep your nervous system in a state of perpetual, exhausting agitation. A sovereign mind must build sacred, impenetrable filters. You must become the absolute gatekeeper of your own consciousness, standing at the door of your mind with a sword of discernment. When you choose to be blissfully ignorant of the latest social media storm or the newest piece of political theater, you are not losing touch with reality, you are finally gaining touch with your own reality, which is the only one that truly exists. In the year 2026, the man who knows the least about the irrelevant is the man who has the most room in his spirit for the absolute truth. Christopher wants you to understand that every piece of intellectual garbage you allow into your mind takes up the precise space where a great, world-changing idea could have lived. We are clearing the clutter today, burning the useless scrolls of the year 2026 to make room for the ancient, eternal fire that actually has the power to transform the world. In the third and most critical layer of this transmission, we must discuss what I call the luxury of disconnection. In the year 2026, being unreachable has become the ultimate status symbol of the free man, and being uninformed about the trivial has become the ultimate intellectual luxury of the wise. The global machine will try to shame you, it will call you disconnected, it will tell you that you are not up to date, but you must understand that being up to date in the year 2026 usually means being up to date with the latest form of collective mental decay. The wise masters of the ancient world knew with absolute certainty that they could never find the light of the stars if they spent all night staring at the mud beneath their feet. Why have you allowed your mind to become a public park where any passing stranger can dump their intellectual trash and emotional waste? Selective ignorance is a surgical, precise strike against the distraction industry and the engineers of addiction. It is the brave act of reclaiming your neural pathways from those who wish to harvest your attention for profit. When you stop feeding the noise of the world with your energy, the noise eventually stops feeding on you. Christopher is showing you the narrow, difficult path to a clean mind. In the year 2026, your basic sanity depends entirely on your ability to walk through a crowded, screaming marketplace without looking at a single stall or listening to a single salesman. By choosing exactly what to ignore, you are choosing exactly who you will become in the years to follow. You are not a hollow vessel meant to be filled by the world's chaos, you are a sacred fire that must be guarded against the wind of the year 2026. Stop trying to keep up with a world that is merely running in desperate circles. Stand perfectly still, close your eyes to the flashing, artificial lights of the year 2026, and listen to the only voice that has ever had anything useful to say, the ancient, quiet voice of your own silent heart. As we move deeper into the heart of the 46th chapter, let us reconstruct the architecture of will within the center of your being. In the year 2026, the greatest threat to your ultimate destiny is not failure, and it is not even opposition, it is the endless, petty, and microscopic interruptions that prevent you from even beginning your true work. Selective ignorance is the essential foundation of deep work, high-level creation, and spiritual clarity. It is the conscious, daily decision to remain blind to the competition, deaf to the critics, and completely indifferent to the shifting trends of the masses. When you embrace the high art of not knowing what the world is talking about, you gain the forgotten power of total immersion in your own craft. Imagine for a moment a life where your mind is as clear and undisturbed as a remote mountain lake, untouched by the ripples of global anxiety and manufactured fear. This is not an impossible dream or a poetic metaphor, it is a practical choice you must make every single morning when you wake up in the year 2026. You must decide which doors to lock against the world. You must decide which ghosts of the digital age to leave outside in the cold. The machine wants you to be a well-informed slave, a person who knows everything about nothing, but Christopher wants you to be a selectively ignorant master of your own focus. By narrowing your vision with surgical precision, you sharpen your impact on reality. By refusing to participate in the meaningless, circular debates of the year 2026, you preserve your vital energy for the battles that will actually define your legacy and change the course of your life. Your ignorance is not a lack of light, it is a concentrated laser beam that cuts through the darkness because it refuses to be scattered and thinned by the noise. Focus is the only alchemy that has ever been able to turn wasted time into eternal meaning. We are now sealing this 46th chapter of the Timeless Wisdom Archives with a final, unyielding, and sovereign decree for the year 2026. Your mind is a sacred temple, not a public marketplace, and you are the only one on this earth with the divine power to clear the tables and cast out the money changers. Do not apologize for your perceived lack of interest in the trivialities, the scandals, and the petty dramas of the masses. Do not feel a single ounce of guilt for the messages you choose not to answer, the emails you do not open, or the fleeting trends you choose not to follow. You were not sent to this earth in this pivotal time to be a passive consumer of noise, but to be a sovereign creator of order and meaning. As you walk through the frantic, information-clogged, and desperate streets of the year 2026, carry your shield of selective ignorance, with the pride of a king. Let the world scream its demands, let the digital notifications pile up like dead, autumn leaves, and let the trivial storms of the era blow themselves out in their own futility. You, the sovereign observer, will remain in the calm, unmoving eye of the hurricane, perfectly clear, perfectly still, and perfectly focused on the eternal truths that never change regardless of the era. This is Christopher, speaking from the silent heart of the eternal archives, reminding you that the most important and powerful word in your entire vocabulary for the year 2026 is the word no. Say no to the noise so that your yes to the truth can actually mean something in the end. The gates are now closed, the static of the world has been silenced, and the light of your focus is now a steady, unbreakable flame in the dark. Stay ignorant of the useless. Stay obsessed with the essential. Stay eternally wise in a world that is currently drowning in information but starving for the smallest drop of wisdom. Christopher, out.